Hello, hope you're having a great day. Now first, let me apologise that the last video didn't go out on Tuesday evening as it should have done. It actually went out on Wednesday afternoon. I'm actually talking to you now on Wednesday afternoon, and that video is currently uploading to YouTube, but it would have went out a few hours before this one. Now the last video was shot on Monday, of course. I released the videos the day after they get shot, and at the end of that video I mentioned that whilst I was in the gym in the evening doing my leg session, I started to feel ill. Well, basically what happened was I woke up yesterday, which was Tuesday, feeling even worse. I definitely remember that when I woke up at 7:30 and, I was having this battle that I have every day, where I'm trying to persuade myself to stay awake, and my lazy mind is just coming up with excuses of why I shouldn't stay awake and why I should go back to sleep. I definitely remember feeling like, yeah, I was ill, but it was overcomable. And it definitely was, if I'm being honest, my lazy mind just using the fact that I was feeling a bit ill as an excuse for me to go back to sleep. At that point, I didn't feel like I was too ill to crack on with my morning routine. And this is the point. Every morning I wake up and I've just got this inherent laziness that, doesn't need to go back to sleep, but is looking for an excuse, is like trying to persuade me. I've literally got like two different voices, if you like, in my head. One that's sort of, saying, no, I know I need to stay up. I know that I need to be a tired winner and not a rested loser. And then the other like voice in my mind just coming up with excuses, of why I should go back to sleep. Oh, you're tired. Oh, it's not going to make any difference. Going to sleep for another 2 hours will benefit you. It'll make you do more in the day. If you go back to sleep, you'll get up later and you'll get through your morning routine quicker because you won't be tired. Well, yesterday morning, I also had the fact that I was feeling slightly ill as an excuse for my lazy mind to persuade me to go back to sleep. And, I succumbed to that excuse. Now, as it turned out, after I'd been asleep for another couple of hours, I woke up feeling even worse, like feeling like I was like really ill. And then I was sort of having this conflict with myself where, part of me was thinking like, yeah, you was right not to get up and, get cracking with your day. You was right to have that bit of sleep. But then part of my mind is thinking, no, I'm being dramatic. Like, I'm sort of sitting there sort of trying to decide whether I'm too ill or not. And then I'd sort of get up out of bed, and then as soon as I stood up, like I was like overwhelmingly ill. And that's normally the case, isn't it? When you're feeling really ill, you're sort of all right-ish when you're laying down, and then when you stand up, when I stood up, it was like I'm so rough, like so weak, and yeah, the longs and shorts of it are I spent all day in bed yesterday. I literally didn't get out of bed until 8 p.m. And yeah, early on in the day, I was having this conflict between myself where I'm sort of like saying, am I being like a little pussy? Should I have got up? But then every time I get up to go to the toilet or whatever, like I confirmed that, as it turns out, it was the right decision to not get up and, go for my morning routine and go to the garage. But I still will acknowledge the fact that when I made that decision, I was okay. It doesn't matter that it just so happens that, my illness got worse. In that moment, it was my lazy mind just using it as an excuse. And one thing I know as well is that, when you are feeling ill, if you do manage to get going, like that can dictate how ill you end up feeling, right? Just getting going with your day, can make you feel a bit better than if you did just sort of succumb to it and lay in bed all day, right? But, in hindsight, I still think if I had to sort of decide whether it was right or wrong for me to not, go out to the garage and stuff like that, I do think that it was probably the sensible idea to, rest. But I will acknowledge the fact that when I made that decision, it was just my lazy mind overtaking me, overcoming me. Now, in terms of like how my day went, I was literally, laying in bed and then sort of trying to make sure that I'm getting enough water and stuff, but not, because I was just like so unable or unwilling to like get out of bed and go and get a glass of water as often as I should have. In terms of like what I was eating, I was like unable or unwilling in that moment to sort of stand up enough for me to make myself any proper food. So I ended up having like 3 bits of cheese on toast, first of all, like for my breakfast, instead of having my normal poached eggs on toast breakfast. And then I just kept getting up and like I was grabbing like bags of crisps, and Kat bought some hot cross buns, so I was, getting up and grabbing a couple of them. So I was just sort of like eating crap, really. Anything that I could grab that didn't require me to be out of bed for a long time to prepare it, right? Which again, probably, definitely isn't going to help me, right? If I was able to sort of force myself to stay up and make my poached eggs on toast and have my protein shake and have my vitamins and minerals, which I did end up having sort of mid-afternoon, but I normally have them in the morning, maybe that would have, again, helped me not feel quite as bad. But, in the moment, it was what it was. And, I just felt like I needed to eat something. And, every now and again, I'd get up. And as I say, I was just grabbing stuff that I was able to grab without having to prepare anything. So I could just grab and then take back to bed. So, that was basically what I was doing all day. Wasn't even able to, bring myself to make a coffee. And if you've been watching these videos, you'll know, I love to stay caffeinated. I am a bit of a coffee crackhead nowadays. That is my drug of choice, you could say. I probably do drink a bit too much coffee, but it's better than sniffing cocaine, right? And, it does have its benefits. It does keep me sharp. It does keep me going. But, I was unable to even contemplate making myself a coffee. That's how, ill I was. And I literally just spent all day in bed. Now, whilst I was sort of laying in bed, I sort of made the decision. I'd obviously made the decision I weren't going to be going around to the garage to continue with what I started on a Monday, which is disappointing. But, in my head, it was like, well, if I could, use the day to do other stuff, then it wouldn't be so bad, right? I've mentioned before that I live such a busy and interesting life that, I can kind of make the decision sometimes where it's like, right, I'm not going to go around the garage today. Say if the weather's bad or if I just don't fancy it or whatever. I can make the decision to not go around the garage, but stay at home and crack on with stuff on my MacBook. I've mentioned recently that I really need to catch up on my accounts and stuff. I did capture some footage on Monday, so, I still haven't started editing that yet. And it was like, I'll do all these things. And then as the day goes on and on and on, obviously, the day's running out, right? So in reality, there's less and less that I'm going to be able to do. And one thing that I thought, right, I must do, is edit what was supposed to be yesterday's video on this channel, right? Because they're daily vlogs. They need to come out every day. And look, I know they don't get thousands and thousands of views, but, you guys that do watch the videos every day, I know you get a lot out of them. And I know that I get a lot out of making them as well. And, it just ended up that I didn't even manage to do that. I didn't do any of the things that I've just mentioned whilst I was at home. I literally done nothing. I just stayed in bed all day. And then even when I got up at 8 p.m, when Kat came home from work, it was, I just had dinner. I chilled out with Kat for a bit, watching telly. There's actually some prices and stuff that I need to update for the parts that are on my website, and I need to update them to be in line with what my suppliers sell them for, because I don't want people to order them parts and me lose money. And I haven't even done that. There's just so much that I could have done yesterday, but I didn't. I was just so ill, and I don't really get ill. Since I've been living this clean and healthy life, I don't really get ill. And when I do get ill, it's usually very mild, and it usually sort of passes through my body quickly. And I'm hoping that even this is going to pass through my body quickly. I'm feeling a million times better today than I did yesterday. Is that because it's passing through my body, or is that just because I have actually made the effort to get up today? Even though I didn't go through any of my morning routine today, I have got up, I have edited what was supposed to be yesterday's video on this channel. So maybe it's a bit of both. And what I found, and what I've found so many times in the past, is that whilst I'm editing the on track video, it just makes me feel better anyway. Whilst I was editing, what was supposed to be yesterday's video on this channel, it was just making me think I should just bang out some push-ups. Oh, maybe I should just start going through my morning routine, go for my walk and whatnot. And I still might, who knows? I think it's probably more sensible for me to just relax and tick some of those bits off the list that I need to do in terms of work, but here at home. I might even start working on the parts that are in my shed, because if I do those today and then go around the garage tomorrow, I can then probably still bring a video out Friday on the other channel. But, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So yeah, there it is. I just wanted to make this video to, you know, explain, you know, why the video that was supposed to go out yesterday was late, and yeah, talk you through my sick day. Now, I do definitely feel like I am well on the way to recovering from whatever illness this is. And yeah, I think today I'm just going to try and force myself to chill out, but also keep my head in the game and, you know, find a balance between resting and being productive. Because I think that too much of either, you know, too much resting or too much being productive could hinder my recovery from this. And I think yesterday I could probably say maybe I've done a bit too much resting, so I don't want to do that. But I also don't want to push myself too much in terms of being productive and risk having days and days and days, you know, where I'm feeling ill, because I feel like I am sort of on the way to recovery right now. So that's it for this video. Massive thanks to everyone who did message me wondering why there wasn't a video yesterday. You know, apologies for that. And moving forward, you know, regardless of what happens, I will do my best to stick to my commitment of making a video on this channel every day, because yeah, it helps me just as much as it helps other people. So yeah, that's it for this video. I'll be back for another one tomorrow, so I'll chat to you then.